Welcome to the fastest chaos and the first match of FreakinAndy here in the orange starting unit on Hyperrandom here, an elite Arambai trying to go for some villager kills in Oxygen. I think he's a strong armor from Pakistan. FreakinAndy though, the stronger armor, probably top 16, maybe even higher right now in RM, and top 1 in Deathmatch because he won Deathmatch World Cup number 5. And we have Savar, and it's the first time I see Savar because we have Persians versus Dravidians for game 1. And this is the first ever time I see the Savar unit being made. A special version of the Cavalier upgraded to a Savar, I think, for the new reworked Persians. It is somewhat of a form of Paladin, and I forgot its bonus. But I'm sure those of you who followed the new patches closely will tell me. Also, the first ever time that we have an Otter stream in 1080p. So I hope you're happy with that. Everything should be looking a little bit more professional, a little bit better now. Cavacho rush from the Persians as well. FreakinAndy wants to finish the set quickly, going for more villager kills, has gotten 3. Oxygen, kind of decent defense, but doesn't get treadmill crane here. FreakinAndy already with a forward castle. FreakinAndy really doesn't want to spend too much time in this set and wants to make us catch up the time that Oxygen was a little bit late here, but Oxygen's defense not too shabby, lost 6 villagers, but would have been more terrible. Obviously, neither still getting treadmill crane, so Persians also not the fastest rush. For that 6 villager kills, this Persians is actually quite good. Castle will go up though, will give Oxygen a little bit more time in this game, but FreakinAndy making good on his seat, his first seat, his champion role in Deathmatch World Cup seems to be quite rolling over his opponent here in the opening match. A lot of Savar forward and Cavarches as well, and more Pierce armor. Okay, so they're kind of inverted boyas. I see. Should be decent against the elite elephant archers then. We're actually not seeing any more elephants with the Persians. It is a pure Savar play. Maybe the Persian meta in DF is changing heavily, but the army count is 55 to 16, so the Savar will take their first ever victory as a new unit in Deathmatch. 4 villages left for Oxygen, and I think we can pretty safely say that FreakinAndy is showing a dominant game in game number 1. Even though he misunderstood me on his game earlier, I expected no less. And Oxygen is shooting his own siege onagers, his own elephant archers with his siege onagers. TC has fallen and Oxygen has to tab out. FreakinAndy finishes game 1 in 7 minutes. Long wait, short games. That is what we are having with seed 1 against seed 32 in the group stage here. Savar, and a savage Savar game by the freaking member, or freaking brother, who isn't insane anymore, but is still an insane DM player. 103 kills, 55 losses for him, and army dominance. In the end, economy didn't come into play. A little bit of gold collected for the Persians. No market usage at all, but just Persian CA, who also, I think, do they get the bonus? Do you get 5 gold if you kill something with Cavachas? Quick trivia question to you in the chat. Yeah, but they are viable now, are getting Thumbring, Carnage, and I think something else that Carnage profit from. I really should have looked more against the Persian deck. I kind of ignored the patch because we're not seeing Armenians and Georgians in the tournament, but we'll find out our new Persians over the course of the tournament. But in their first appearance in the fastest chaos, they take their first victory over the Dravidians, which wasn't too hard for the Persians because they are controlled by FreakinAndy. And that's the old one. I think I'm gonna open Spectash, but somewhere else so you can see the draft, right? That makes more sense. Yeah, what do you think expect as the next Civs here? And we could have bets. I don't know if you guys want bets. Probably gonna be a bit one-sided bet, but maybe someone wants to risk something. Maybe betting on the Berbers, because we've got Berbers for Oxygen here for game 2. I think someone could remind them of the spec delay. If there's other admins in. Chat. But I don't mind that it's quicker as it is right now. Welcome to game 2, FreakinAndy with the Tatars. Very open land map here. I didn't comment on the map in last game as well because the rush was so quickly. But we've got a very open map, one forest there to the north. The rest, everything pretty spread out. Oxygen once again trying to get a quick castle up, probably for some camel archers. And camels running around everywhere. FreakinAndy this time no villager kills with the rush. So probably would have to look at a little bit of a longer game here. So if someone wants to start predictions, feel free to do that. Trippy doesn't like Dravidians, even though in the qualifiers they were quite successful. For example, Slick Rick winning with them. We saw them played a ton, but I think their usage will go down because they in the main event didn't seem that successful so far. But we've got Berbers against Tatars in this one, which is quite an even matchup. Camel Archers obviously great against the opponent's Camel Archers, but the Hussar line in front is stronger for the Tatars because they get additional Pierce armor. So if it becomes a full Hussar CA or Hussar Camel Archer fight, I actually prefer Tatars. Because most situations in these fights, if microed right, the Camel Archers and the Camel Archers won't fight each other, but they will fight the respective front lines and retreat when they are gone. FreakinAndy also now forward with some military, but still Nico Kitty 0-0. Very far map here, obviously. People spawning at complete opposite sides of the map, so that is making it easier for Oxygen to get into the game, is making it harder for FreakinAndy to finish this as quickly as the last one. The Tarkeva just going around though. That castle is at 92%, so the Keva just need to shoot quick if they want to find some kills. They do find 3, but it is not being micro back. They could even find 4. Do find more, and to the left side also more villager kills. These Keva just 8 eco KD in favor of FreakinAndy, and he is quite forward, placing forward castles there. Not started yet. Army count though quite similar, 94 to 100, and we only have a 4 villager lead for FreakinAndy. Lot of castles in the base for Oxygen Joe, which will make expanding quite harder for him, and Andy can potentially snatch this forward gold and this forward gold of his opponent. Gold tiles here, only 200. That has 500, so that is a pretty attractive one. The one in his base has 500 something as well. The map very limited on gold, it seems, overall. No, that gold mine is pretty big, but that also isn't too secure for Mr. Oxygen. And FreakinAndy with a lot of army around now. The siege rams coming forward. The camels will probably kill them though. And if there's no meat shield for the Tatars, then Camel Archers, obviously the superior unit. FreakinAndy nothing in front of his Cav Archers, will have to retreat a lot here, and I don't think these 4 villagers should be able to get that castle, that forward castle up for him. More army streaming in there. Massive army advantage now, 127 to 80 for Oxygen. Andy maybe a little bit too overly aggressive here at the start. And Oxygen stabilizing well, will stop the castle at 70%, stops the other castle as well. FreakinAndy's rams there being shot at, but there's also melee units around, so not too useful. And this is looking quite decent for the Berber all of a sudden. Still has more military. Eco development though better for the Freakin player from Austria. But Oxygen somewhat making it work so far. Stop these 2 forward castles, has the stronger army KD wise, massively ahead for Oxygen, 180 to 104. So also good resource usage. Traps now exposed, firing a bit at the Camel Archers, but nothing really stopping the Camel Archers. The Camel Archers are like, they don't want to fight them, right? So there's no farm eco really for Husaria to Sun now being produced. Andy really needs the front line to be able to deal with the camel archers, and the Berbers seem to start to be everywhere. They are taking this gold right now. Eco development though, only 20 villagers on gold for Oxygen, so Oxygen could run out of resources at some point. Forward castles have been, I think one has been deleted. No, FreakinAndy has no stone and isn't placing a castle right now, so castle was actually killed. And that one still has half HP. FreakinAndy now also a little bit, 3 castles in his base, but his farm eco will be very unprotected with all those forward castles he tried to build. So Oxygen actually in a good spot here to tie up the set, something that probably nobody would have expected. I mean, Oxygen is the huge underdog, FreakinAndy the huge favorite here. I think FreakinAndy might have wanted to make it a little bit too quick because of his time constraints set on stream earlier that he only has an hour, which I also kind of do because I wanted to Zaya set. But I mean, if this is going to become a close set, I don't mind watching this one either. FreakinAndy calls the GG. And Oxygen with a 1-1 here. Camel Archer mess, and he lost a lot. He's massively behind. And yeah, his whole economy is gonna die now. Big surprise. Big surprise that Oxygen is taking a game. And I said I like the task more, but Berbers are still a solid civ and one of the best civs in the game right now for Deathmatch. But still, I think if Andy wasn't so hyperly aggressive playing here, late game should be better for the task. I think probably some outside thinkings there, maybe some overconfidence, wanting to finish the game fast. And Oxygen, a bit his fault for being late, but yeah. If you're playing, you gotta use everything to your advantage. He just played the game he wanted with Berbers, and he gets the 1-1 here. Something that I don't think anybody would have guessed. I didn't properly ask for guesses that much, because I just kind of thought everybody would say 3-0 to Andy, which is like what I expected. But yeah, we have a tied up set. Oh boy. But from what I'm seeing here, next civ matchup, a little bit better for our Austrian friend. Team World Cup champion. Franks versus Turks. Something I would much prefer to be an Anatolian civilization. What do you think, guys? We have also a very interesting map here. Welcome to Hyperrandom. 2 roads leading away from the middle island, big middle island, lots of wood. Resources very much in the center. All the gold there. FreakinAndy just jumping onto the hill immediately. And oh boy, why are we building stables with Franks against Turks? No, I think we wanna like 1-2 stables maximum. And then go into a wreck start here. I don't think with stables there's any chance against the Camel Civ. Really, yes, Frank Paladins be good, but oh boy. Franks are gonna get destroyed. I agree. And the only chance is probably a wreck start, but they still don't have Treadmill Crane. Turks have Treadmill Crane. The only thing that Franks kind of have are bombard cannons, and Turks obviously have the better ones. FreakinAndy blocking off. Oh, FreakinAndy's housed. Oh, the Deathmatch World Cup champion is housed at 30. Let's go. But he has camels forward and he killed 3 villagers. And with that close map turn, and he might get the quick win here that he wanted. On the sides, extra gold and stones. We do have neutral markets in the corners, so there could be water trade as well. Or neutral markets, I'm saying. Neutral docks in the corners. Probably with the merchant again. Yes, there is the merchant. They don't have Ultra HD graphics, but at least 1080p now, so it should look a bit better. And hopefully the streamed as well. It's not buffering and anything, so let's go for it. If my computer could handle it, now that my internet can. But so far, at least from what I'm seeing, like on cap trades, everything seems to be smooth. So very happy about that. And Oxygen at least got a castle up 9 villagers to 13 by FreakinAndy. And thank you for the follow, Kelar. Coming in very early with the follow there after we played the whole tournament together. And same as the camels, coming in very early here and to completely wreck Oxygen's space. And 2 trebuchets, and the Oxygen calls the GG, and he is at least not going behind in the set where he's the huge favorite, and takes the 2-1 lead here. But yeah, Franks have a 0% win rate, I think, in the tournament so far. So if you're watching any of these casts, now your number one lesson should be not to pick Franks. It is sad for the tradition, right? DM was traditionally played at the start of the game, and only Franks was. But in 1v1, they're really not an option these days. And especially not on Hyperrandom, especially not with a quite camel-heavy meta that we still have. And yeah, in 3v3 pocket, way more viable. Still, I would say probably not the top tier Civ that they were before they lost Red Crane, but still quite viable. I think in something like 3v3 pocket, especially I think 4v4 pocket probably also okay. 2v2 and 1v1 wouldn't rate them as high anymore, and the Franks go down to the Turks, and the Austrian takes 2-1 lead in the set. Let's jump right into game 4, because they are starting really quickly and they are already in the game. You were wondering what tournament I played with Club Patata? What? You were in the same team. Oh boy, is that a map? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What do we have here? We've got both players starting with the Accursed Tower, and not only with one the Accursed Tower, the players are starting with 8 the Accursed Towers. Oh, both have the same amount. Both have the same amount of Accursed Towers. They also have fortified walls, a little bit like Fortress. And we have 2 waters that are not connected. Boy, this is so interesting to play this map. Lord of Gold. 2 waters that you can fight over, both are shallow, so both can have units pathing over, and the ships can transfer from there to there. Docks can obviously be placed, as we see 3 dock foundations by Andy and 2 dock foundations. No, 2 more dock foundations by Andy. So Andy's going out for docks on both legs. And what is Oxygen doing? Oxygen is, first of all, playing the Mayans and going for an Eagle Rush, but that's kind of to not much avail with the fortified walls. So that's a good start for Liquipedia. What? For Lithuanians. Because world maps make it easier to go for early relic collection. It make that a more viable strat. Something that the Lithuanians probably want to do anyways, but never mind. It's the monks coming out from Oxygen that I'm seeing. And no monks for the FreakinAndy. Elite Cannon Gain. Lithuanians get Elite Cannon Gain. Something I didn't know. This is a gen, that's for sure. I think these, like, I really like these generations where you have 2 different bodies of water. It adds a huge amount of complexity in the game. Like water, like having hybrid already makes the game more complex, way harder to play, because you have to micro water armies and land armies at the same time. And then if you have 2 bodies on water, and if they're shallows, it gets so much more complex as well, which I really like, right? At least to watch the games. I also personally like it as a player, because I like to be challenged. The more complex the settings get, the more I get to think, the more decisions I get to make. That makes me happy. And I think it's a good mindset to have, that the more complex it goes, the happier you are. Because that means you like a challenge. So I would also recommend to have that mindset to other players. And it's obviously great to watch, because there's action in multiple spots. Mayans can be good, like, but I think they're better in team games because they're very cheap. And not exactly a Civ I probably want to be against Lithuanians. I'm also not a big Lithuanians fan, but obviously I'm a big Andy fan here with the early dogs, with using the water, taking the map control there. Mechanics giving him quite a lot of control and really nice defendable position to push from into oxygen space. Base has already been opened. Main's obviously lacking bombard cannon here. Kind of big time against the Lithuanians, who don't get siege engineers, but at least get bombard cannons. So to counter onagers against his CA. CA, I think, also good play, very good play by Lithuanians against Mayans. So I like Andy's army comp here a lot. And yeah, this is looking tough for Oxygen. I mean, Oxygen won a game, right? Winning a game against the DM World Cup champion. If I'm Oxygen and the lowest seed in the group stage, I would count that as a huge success already, right? Andy playing the set very aggressive, very ruthless. Straight through the middle pushes all 3 games he won, and also in the game that he lost. So it did fail once. Very far map, making that style a bit harder there. And yeah, he's swarming oxygen space left and right. Isaiah's already starting, so we can march right away. And Oxygen is losing a lot of ground here. I think I'm gonna speed it up a bit. Well, Oxygen is stabilizing. Maybe that's the wrong moment, but the Zayu set has already started. I don't want to miss it, but yeah, actually army pop 62. Same overall population. I mean, map control is obviously way better for Andy, but there's a side push here for Oxygen. Looking to go for some siege rams there. Maybe we have to play catch up on the other set a bit. Let's see, but I want to concentrate on this game, as this might shape up to be an interesting game. If it gets a bit boring, I'll speed up a bit, but for now, very interesting fights. Bloomed Archers, not too shabby. And Mayans can have a very good mid game, and there's a lot of gold on the map. 1000 gold on these mines as well. And Mayans kind of don't need the other rest too much, so really easy Civ to play, can get without eco, and the whole big amount of the curse tower is buying some time for Oxygen. But we have Lightest forward, relic count 2 for FreakinAndy, so the Lightest at least have 2 additional attack, and they're mopping up all the Plumed Archers. And therefore, Light is OP even against archery units where they're normally not that great. And I think that is making it look very good for Andy. Here's the ram push, but it's only 3 rams, so that's nothing really too scary. Especially with also towers around that you need to work through first, and castles are falling. And I think Andy will take game number 4 here. So let me catch up to live now. Light is too good. Lighters are turning around because he's seeing the ram push. And in the middle, oh god, I completely missed that. Oxygen also has a water army, is challenging here. The fleets can't go at each other, so demos are useless on this map. Oh no, they're killing the eagles. But that's really funny actually, that we have 2 fleets fighting each other on 2 different pods. I love that generation land units are nerfed in the middle, because there is lower elevation as well, but the Lightest still managed to clean up the whole feed. A lot is going to the left to stop the ram push, and the forward attack still some Cavachers still killing a castle over here. Ram push there going in. Oxygen's population now dropping a bit. Rams will probably get cleared by the Lightest, even though Lightest have an anti-bonus against siege. Or did the devs change that? I don't remember No bonus to offset it, because Rams have negative armor. And if that gets ignored, then yeah, Light is doing less damage, I guess. At least it used to be like that. I remember a change with Lightus. Maybe they changed that, but I'm not sure. They used to be worse against Siege because of their bonus. Castle stays up for oxygen, so he is stabilizing a bit. But Andy defends the ramp push. The other set hasn't started yet. Zaya just messaged me they're waiting for this game to finish. If Oxygen wins the game, they will start nevertheless, but if Andy wins the game, we can get right on to the next set. Thanks a lot to Zayu and Leaf. Huggie, please check your Discord. If Coming didn't message you already. A lot of light is now screaming in here at the top. Purple's pop advantage is gone again. Once more. And once again, the lighters are jumping onto the plumed archers. Not much base left, and the whole eco is getting swarmed. And FreakinAndy will surprise us by giving his opponent 1 point, but won't surprise us by losing his opening set. GG Cole comes in, and FreakinAndy takes the victory with the Lithuanians. 593 kills to 380 lighters. Dominance, and Lithuanians looking good here. For the question that I posed during the draft, are Lithuanians worth it in DM or not? As I said, players divided on that issue. Andy making a good case here that they are at least very good against Mayans if played right, and look quite dominant in the fights. I really like that Occident tried this side ramp push, that he also contested the water here. We saw some action on multiple fronts, but the quick water and that fleet to make the original push into the base happen. Strong play by FreakinAndy. GG's.